This week's trans sob-story comes from The Advertiser, and the headline is Polly's Flush Genders. ALP leads charge to make public toilets a free-for-all. Councils should change their bylaws to allow transgender, intersex and gender diverse people to choose which public toilet they use, a parliamentary committee has recommended. The Legislative Review Committee was concerned the language "the opposite sex" might be discriminatory. So the headline on page 2 is Public Toilet Rules Need Trans Age Limit Overhaul. So the committee is looking at classing trans people as vulnerable in the same way that children are vulnerable. So there's a lady here with her son who's concerned because she has 2 children and one of them is autistic, and he's getting to the age where by law she wouldn't be allowed to accompany him in the toilet, or let's say have him come into the toilet with her so that she can look after him. And she of course doesn't want to send him into the men's toilet. But this review, it's also talking about that trans people are vulnerable, and so they should be able to go into the toilet that they feel safest in. But it's like a contradiction in terms, because this lady here, she obviously is concerned about sending her child into the toilet and there being a predator in there. But these laws could very well allow predators into her toilet anyway, and I guarantee you she was not asked about that. She was only asked about her own child being allowed to use the toilet that she does. What's interesting is the next day, the letters page had 3 letters published on the subject, and they were all basically against the idea of changing public toilet laws. But what's quite interesting is that the picture that they've used is of like 3 portable toilets that would be like gender neutral anyway. So that's a bit weird. Here's one letter: Gender Agenda in Toilets. The recommendation by the Parliamentary Committee that transgender, intersex and gender diverse people should be able to choose which public toilet they use is a worry. The excuse about age limits on children entering with parents or people with a disability is just that, an excuse. There are parent rooms with toilets and disabled toilets which cater for these, and if any changes are to be made, it should be that all public toilets provide these facilities. Obviously, no thought has been given to how a female would feel when being confronted by a male in a public toilet, especially if she is on her own. Similarly, most males would feel uncomfortable having a female walk in to a male toilet. Yep, I think that just about sums it up. And then this one, costly diversion. Your lead story, Polly's Flush Genders, highlights how costly it has become, having politicians and bureaucrats spending time and our taxes dealing with machinations of the woke left. A first world problem, you might well say, but I do have a solution. It's called common sense. Unless people are blind or make the very occasional mistake, they don't need to be told which toilet to go into. They know. And if responsible parents want to take their dependent children of any age into a public toilet, they should be able to. And instead of committee talkfests, spend our valuable taxes building and cleaning more public toilets for females in particular, as the waiting time can be outrageous. Simple? Well, you would think so. So that was from a man. Very well put. And then this one. Need for safe spaces. I sympathise with Lisa Michael, who needs to take her 11-year-old son to the female public toilet because he is autistic and vulnerable if he goes to the male toilet on his own. but the modern trend for non-discriminatory public loos means there are no safe spaces.
I feel really empathetic, but to some of them I saw one of these that when the women were saying, stay out of our spaces, now, no I won't. And it's just so emblematic of how a man behave. The women, we want to try and make everybody feel comfortable, try and, see things from other people's perspective, we want to make ourselves smaller. I mean, these are all the things that I've had the feminist movement talking about, women don't take your place, women make their space. And it just funny to me, they reveal themselves. So that intimidating behaviour, it's got male written all over it. We see you, we can identify you. And the thing that I think is really, really sad for these people is they're being lied to. They have people surrounding them telling them that nobody can tell. You passed, honey. You got it. No, you don't. We can spot you from a mile away.
Trans doesn't mean anything. It usually means men wanting to invade women's spaces and women that everybody ignores anyway. Nobody talks about trans men. Nobody's interested about women growing a beard. We don't care. We just want those men, no matter how they identify, to stay out of women's spaces.